Hi, I'm Aaliyah Crutchfield, and this is my creative critical reflection for AICE Media Studies. Question 1 is, how does your product use or challenge conventions, and how does it represent social groups or issues?
So it's already starting here with the words and the font and style I used to make it look worn down. It's just giving you a peek into the kind of film that it is, and the music and the sound effects are all working together to do that as well.
I'm going to start a little less than halfway through.
This scene was my favorite to film, and to just see how it ended up coming out. She is just walking with a person who's not really there, and it was really cool to do that and kind of learn how to edit that together. And it shows that she's not stable, that she's talking to this person who's essentially her thoughts and her friend who she's making up because she misses her and she's trying to replace her, but she's not there anymore. It's tense. It's showing that she doesn't know what she's doing. Why is she spinning in a circle around her? And it's just confusing. And it's showing that she's trying to control her, but she can't make her stop. And then these scenes are also, it's like a security camera. It's supposed to be her in a mental facility. The white walls, she looks very untamed. Those were fun to film. And it really adds on to her, how she's feeling, her mental state.
Where are you going?
And this was really fun to film. It was hard to get the focus right, how I was going for, but then it kind of adds on to that mystery and where is she going? What's happening? And then she just screams her name. She's gone now. We don't know where she went. It's all your fault. And then I start using these whisperings. All the whispering you hear at the end of the film is my voice, if you can audibly hear what it's saying. I just started saying things, it's your fault, you're the reason, stuff like that, to show that she feels guilty for something, and that she's just blaming herself. And the la la la, and you can hear her whispering no 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 to herself, and she says other things, liar and stuff, and that's just still adding on, using all those classic tools of psychological thrillers to make you believe that she's crazy. The la 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 is my favorite sound. I think it just really adds on. She's still a kid, but she's going through so much.
Stop!
And then we cut. And we see her going into a psychologist's office, and you're not supposed to know what happens next. Maybe she's getting help, maybe she's imagining the whole thing. So yeah, that's worked, and that's my thoughts on it. It's meant to, the main group is people who struggle with mental health issues, not just schizophrenia, but all the other emotions you can see that my character is clearly feeling, and I think we did a good job expressing that.
Question 2 is, how does your product engage with audiences, and how would it be distributed as a real-world text?
Hi, I'm Kevin, the director of work.
And I'm Isabel Davis, who plays Luna.
So, Mrs. Davis, how would you say our product engages our audience?
Good question. Our product engages our audience by creating a captivating viewing experience. Not only with our filming techniques, but through the way we touch on mental health issues. using pathos to grip our audience and make them connect to our characters so they feel compelled to keep watching.
I couldn't agree more. Can you elaborate a little bit?
Absolutely. Our main character, Phoenix, is struggling with schizophrenia, which only 1% of the population deals with. However, our film reaches many more people. Phoenix is also clearly struggling with anxiety, which everyone has experienced.
Aaliyah, who plays Phoenix, couldn't be here with us today, but she did just an amazing job
Displaying what Phoenix is feeling.
The whispering in the film, like fault or you're the problem, is something a lot of people can experience. Whether it's a breakup or a divorce, they try to put it on themselves when it's really not their fault.
Quick thought, if you don't mind.
Of course.
Those scenes, like you mentioned before, Phoenix is rocking back and forth and whispering to herself, kind of reminds me of Smeagol from Lord of the Rings, fighting with Gollum, or his other personality.
You're right, I never thought of that. I definitely see the similarities.
Could I ask you a question, Mr. Douglas, if you don't mind?
Of course.
How are you planning on distributing Warped and getting it out there?
I'm glad you asked.
So to distribute my short film Warped, if we were to do that, I would begin by getting it out there on social media to create buzz. I would create accounts that are about the film. I would use Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, all of those platforms to attract a wider audience. TikTok with teens and then Facebook for older people. And I would create a trailer to post on the page and just get everyone excited about the film. And I'd film exclusive behind-the-scenes clips with actors and the filming crew to, again, just engage viewers and get them excited about my project. After that, I would start streaming it on other platforms than YouTube that support independent films. So platforms like Amazon Video, Indie Rights, Filmmaker Magazine, and Film Hub. Those are all platforms that I would consider, to name a few. Next, I would start attending film festivals, first locally in Florida. For example, the I Love You Festival in Stanford, Florida is one that I would consider first. And then I would start attending other festivals like Miami, Jacksonville, Sarasota, and Orlando film festivals. And if my film was well received with the public and filmmaking agencies, I'd move up and try to get the attention of less local agencies like New York and definitely LA, where all the Hollywood buzz goes on. I would try to connect with the NFMLA, which is the National Film Agency of Los Angeles, and hopefully that would help my journey of getting connected to more professional levels of producing. A24, Participant Media, Anaphora Productions, and Black Bear Productions are all agencies that have published several independent films. And finally, hopefully after getting connected to one of those agencies, my film would start to take flight and it would be seen more, and maybe one day I would get noticed by Columbia Pictures, Warner Bros., or Paramount Pictures, and just continue to create more buzz for my films, and then eventually go international. Question 3 is, how did your production skills develop throughout this project? So I've seen a huge improvement in my skills as I've been preparing my final video and getting ready to be here since day one of the year. I've made several short films for projects in class, and they were all prepping me, little stepping stones to get to this one. I was always the editor in my group. I worked with 3 other people. And also, I took this class last year, the non-AICE version. It was theater and film production. So I've had a lot of time to grow and practice my editing skills. Other projects I made in the past, though, didn't require such in-depth editing as Warped did. They mostly only had one soundtrack playing, or just the original dialogue and then maybe one added soundtrack. But Warped, at some point, has 5 sounds stacked on top of each other, even more, and then editing and just everything. And it took a lot of messing around to get some of the scenes perfectly aligned, and at points I had to take out the sound entirely and just learn how to build that and manipulate it to make it how I wanted it. I also started changing the ambiance of some of the parts of my film where it was the lighting was too direct, kind of. It was too bright for the tone of the film I was going for. So I had to figure out what looked the best. I must have tried 100 before I found the right one. Here's some screen recordings. You can see the difference between the two editing styles. Sorry. You can see how much more this one has down here that's playing, all of the sax sounds and the editing things. So that was really cool to see the difference from the one soundtrack that I had playing from my PSA at the beginning of the year. One more thing on this also, they were both about mental health, which I thought was funny, kind of came around. Question 4 is, how did you integrate technologies, software, hardware, and online in this project? So for my technology in the film, I used YouTube for sounds and to put it up. I used CapCut, which I ended up getting the pro version of, which offered a lot of other cool features that I didn't have before. I used Canva, Pixar, and Procreate. I used some of them to mess around with the colors, like Pixar and Procreate, and I used those two also to do the title screen, and then I kind of used everything for the title screen. They all offer different stuff to an extent, so I kind of just messed around and found what I liked the best, and I think I ended up making it with Pixar and CapCut together. I didn't have any camera equipment. The whole thing was filmed on my phone, which honestly I found way better than using any kind of camera equipment, because I had to makeshift like phone holders and I was in the middle of the woods, so it just gave it more of a natural feel, where the camera is tilted and she's walking and her friend is disappearing. You can see the tree branches in the camera, and it was just that was really cool. I was happy I found that spot because it was like the camera's not there, it's like you're actually there, so that was really cool. And then other shots on the ground, or like you can see a tree stump in one of them and twigs, and then the leaf in the shallow focus shot. So it was just, it was cool. It was like the camera is like invisible almost. And like I said, all the platforms I used offered me something new, so it was really cool putting those all together, because I usually just use CapCut for my other projects. And they all came out just less professional, I guess. Warped is more sincere. I had a different goal for it. I got to use these platforms in a way that I have never, from picking out sounds from YouTube and CapCut when I haven't done that before, to make it fit with my video, and it was just really cool to see that all come together.